Hello everyone. How are you today? Welcome to Tall Tales with Alex, your gateway into a universe of adventure and discovery. It's so great to have you with me for today's journey. We're going to use our imaginations today, so get ready to think up all kinds of amazing things. Maybe you could keep using your imagination to do some drawings of our adventure today. I'd love to see what you create. To the parents, guardians and teachers, you can find me at Tall Tales Alex on Twitter and Tall Tales with Alex on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to be the first to find out when a new story has been uploaded. Now, let's dive into a world of imagination. For this story, we're back with Jada and her little robot friend, EXO. Do you remember how they met? Jada is a really good robot builder, just like her dad. They bought an old robot workshop that had been empty for many, many years. It was very old and run down and would need a lot of work. Jada found an old door at the back of the workshop. It was very dark. But she discovered a button that opened the whole ceiling up and let in lots of light. At the back of the workshop was a little grey and blue robot. Jada and her dad called it EXO because of the writing it had on it. EXO wanted to know what it was built to do, but Jada and her dad didn't know. So Jada and EXO set out into the big wide world to find out. And that is where we will pick up the story. The world that Jada and EXO walked out into was very different from the one that we live in. To EXO, who had only just been switched on, everything was new and he was amazed at what he saw. Up in the sky were hundreds of cars flying through the air. They whizzed by making a noise that sounded like this. The roads, which no longer had cars driving on them because they were all up in the sky, now had people on flying bicycles. Everywhere Jada and EXO looked were robots doing all sorts of different tasks. Some of the tasks were useful, some of the tasks were fun to watch, but some of the tasks were just confusing. They passed by one robot who was washing windows. It was a short little robot with a bucket for a head, but had arms that could reach all the way to the top windows. When the window was clean, the robot's arm would shrink all the way back down and back into its little body. It would dip the sponge into its bucket head before extending its arm all the way back up to clean the next window. They passed by another robot that was in the window of a shop. This robot was moving very fast, and as they watched it, it got faster and faster and faster. It was folding clothes that had just come out of the washing machine. It had 12 arms and a big hairdryer in the middle of it that dried all the clothes in a few seconds. Oh, it was so fast, they were tired just watching it. EXO was very interested in the robots he saw as they walked past the fire station. The robots that worked there had all sorts of cool features. They were tall, with big helmets for heads. In the middle of the helmet was a fireman's badge. When the badge opened up, a powerful hose would blast water out, and this helped them put out fires very quickly. EXO looked at them and thought, maybe this is what I was built to do. So he walked up to one of them and said, "Excuse me, my name is EXO, and I'm trying to find my purpose. I have pincers. Do you think I might be a firefighting robot?" The tall robot peered down at him and said,
"Well, you're a little shorter than we are, but why don't we see? Why don't you go and pick up that ladder over there?"
EXO made his way across the fire station to where the ladder was. He put his pincers round it and picked it up. Jada was very impressed. "Wow, you are very strong for such a small robot," she said. The firefighting robot was very impressed too.
"Well, I've never seen a robot your size that can pick up a heavy ladder just like you did. That is very impressive. Now, can you lean it against that wall outside and climb up to the tallest window?"
EXO looked down at his wheels. "I don't think so. I'm not sure that my wheels are the best thing for climbing ladders." The firefighting robot looked down at him and said,
"Well, that's okay. You carry the ladder better than any of the firefighter robots I've ever worked with. Well, just because you have wheels, that doesn't mean you wouldn't make a good firefighter. Well, let me know if you ever want to give it a try.
Jada turned to EXO and said, "Why don't we keep exploring and see what else we can find that you're good at?" They left the fire station and continued walking down the street. As they walked down the street, they passed by even more interesting robots. One robot they walked past had springs for legs, and it was bouncing down the street playing music. Jada turned to EXO and said, "There's a few of those robots that bounce down the streets. I'm not exactly sure what their purpose is. They just seem to hop from place to place blasting music loudly. Sometimes it's a good song, sometimes it's a bad song, but they're always moving, so you never get to hear the whole song before they disappeared." There was another robot that helped people to cross the road. It was a giant rolling ball that held a giant sign which said, "Stop!" on one side and "Go!" on the other. It would roll out into the middle of the road, and big barriers would come out of either side of it to stop the hovering bicycles from moving, giving people time to cross the street. Jada and EXO arrived at a shop. "What is this place?" EXO asked her. "This is a pizza shop," said Jada. "They make a delicious kind of food. It's bread with tomato sauce, cheese, and pretty much any kind of topping you can think of." "That doesn't sound delicious to me. I don't eat human food. My favorite thing to eat is electricity. But let's take a look inside." They walked in the front door and were immediately greeted by a very polite robot.
"Hello, welcome to Pizza Pie. We're delighted that you've decided to eat with us. Would you like me to take you to your table?"
"No, thank you," said Jada. "We're not here to eat. We're here to find my friend's purpose. I don't suppose we might be able to go in your kitchen and see if he was made for making pizzas?"
"I was made to be very helpful, so it would be my pleasure to take you to the kitchen. Follow me."
They were led into a very busy kitchen full of robots making pizzas. They were very round-looking robots with big, flat metal plates for hands. These big plates were perfect for scooping up large pizzas and taking them to the people waiting at their tables. "Excuse me, who is the head chef robot in this kitchen?" asked Jada.
"I'm the head chef,"
said the biggest and roundest robot.
"How can I help you?"
"My name is EXO. I've only just been switched on and I'm not sure what I was built to do. We're trying to find my purpose. Do you think I might be built for making pizza?" The big round robot looked down at EXO and said,
"I'm not sure. Your pincers may not be the best thing for carrying pizza, but why don't we see?"
So EXO made his way to the big pizza oven and tried to pick up a pizza. But his pincers could only pick up the pizza on one side, so every time he tried to pick it up, all the cheese and toppings slid straight off the pizza. "Oh dear, I don't think this is what I was built to do."
"That's okay. I got an idea. Why don't you take these salt and pepper shakers to the table number 7?
And the head chef passed down 2 little shakers to EXO. The shakers fitted perfectly in EXO's pincers. Quick as a flash, EXO whizzed through the kitchen. He ducked and dodged past all the chefs. He was small enough to fit between all the big round robots, and his wheels made him super speedy. He arrived at table number 7 faster than any robot had ever got there. The head chef was extremely impressed.
"You're the speediest little robot that we've ever had in this restaurant. Although your pincers may not be the best for picking up pizza, your fast wheels mean you can nip through the busy restaurant. We would love to have you come and work in this restaurant if you ever decide that's what you want to do."
"Thank you. That's very kind of you," said EXO. "If I ever decide I want to work in a pizza restaurant, I'll come straight here." As Jada and EXO left the restaurant, EXO turned to her and said, "I still don't know what my purpose is. I wonder if I will ever find out what I was built to do." "That's okay. We can keep looking. There's lots of different robots doing lots of different jobs. How about that garage over there? That's where they fix our flying cars. Let's go see if that's what you were built to do," said Jada. They were greeted by a very square-looking robot. It was covered in oil, and instead of hands, it had tools. There were tools all over it, and when it needed to change the tools on its hands, it would just reach down and pick the right tool for the job.
"Hello? You two look a little too, little to be flying a car. So what can I help you with?
I don't suppose you think my friend here might be any good at fixing cars, do you? Asked Jada.
Well, I'm not sure. How many different tools are you built to carry?
EXO looked down at his pincer's wheels and body. I don't think I have any. I just have the body that I have.
That's okay. I think I know something you'd be excellent at,
said the mechanic.
Follow me.
EXO whizzed along behind the big square robot to where the cars were being repaired. The cars were on the floor, and underneath them were big holes that the robots went down into to be able to fix the bottom of the cars.
Why don't you go down into that dark space down there and you can see if you can tell me what would make you so useful around the garage?
EXO scooted down into the deep, dark hole and looked around. I don't see what I can do down here. It's just a hole. I can see, Jada said excitedly. Your eyes are so bright that they light up the darkness like two big torches.
Exactly. They're perfect for seeing all the bits we need to repair on the cars. If you're ever looking for somewhere to work, we would love to have you here. Your bright eyes would be a big help to us.
As they made their way out of the garage, EXO turned to Jada and asked, Do you think we might be able to go back to the workshop now? Absolutely, said Jada. We can do whatever you want to do. So they travelled back down the street through all the different kinds of robots, past all the floating bicycles and under the flying cars. They left the garage behind them and walked past the pizza shop and the fire station. They arrived back at the workshop and were greeted by Jada's dad. He'd been busy working to get the workshop clean and tidy. How'd you two get on? Did you find out what EXO was built to do? We didn't, but I think we learned something important. Don't you, EXO? EXO rolled over to the painting of Professor Doddington, the scientist that had built him. He looked up and said, I think there might have been a reason that Professor Doddington made me, but I don't think I'll ever know it. My pincers weren't good for carrying pizza, but they were good for picking up the ladder. My wheels weren't good for climbing the ladder, but they were great for whizzing through the restaurant. And my eyes were brilliant for lighting up the dark places in the garage. I think it's okay that I don't know what I was built to do. I think there's plenty of different things I can do, and I can decide my own purpose. Maybe those robots that know what they were built for are missing out on all the things they could be doing because they've never tried anything different. And maybe that doesn't matter because they could be very happy doing what they were made to do. I am EXO. I'm good at carrying. I'm good at whizzing through small spaces. And I'm good at shining light into dark places. I think there will be a lot of other things I'm good at doing too. And all I need to do is keep trying new things to find them. That is my purpose. To try new things and find new things I'm good at, but have fun along the way. Jada ran over to EXO and gave her little robot friend a big hug. I like that purpose. I think I might like to try that with you. We'll always have each other. I think that's something else we're really good at too. Being friends. And that was the story of EXO the robot and its best friend, Jada. Thank you so much for joining me on that adventure. What was your favourite part of the story? Who was your favourite character? Did you have a favourite robot? I think we might get more stories with EXO and Jado soon. There's lots of fun adventures we can have with them. Maybe you could use your imagination to draw something. I would love to see what you make. Maybe you could even draw your own robot. If you're enjoying Tall Tales with Alex, don't forget to tell your friends about it. It would be amazing to share these journeys with even more children. There's loads more adventures to go on, so don't forget to subscribe and follow to be the first to find out when a new story is ready to listen to. Parents, guardians, teachers, you can find me at Tall Tales Alex on Twitter and Tall Tales with Alex on Instagram. I'm already looking forward to our next adventure. See you then.